A few weeks ago, I made a video here on the FMSCOUT channel about some of my favourite players that I've used in FM24, and I challenge you guys to let me know in the comments about some of your favourite players. We got plenty of recommendations, so today we're going to rate 15 of your favourite players, and we're going to see if you have good taste in Football Manager or bad taste. As mentioned, we've got 15 players to get through, all of different price points and ability levels, so there'll be something for everybody's saves. Some of these guys are quite well known, and some of them I'd never even heard of, so alongside the entertainment of rating these players, we'll also be hopefully showcasing some guys that you wouldn't have signed before that you'll now pick up in your saves. With that being said, let's get into player number 1. And I had to start with him because he was the most recommended player from the comment section. I think we had 5 separate comments, if I remember counting right, about this man, Nelson Weiper of Mainz. He is a beast this year for sure. The 18-year-old German under-21 is a great forward player with good ability mentally and technically, but he is strong, big and quick, as well as being good in the air, only costing you a few million quid. You could see why so many people are wanting to sign him from the Bundesliga club, where he's already considered a regular starter, so clearly he is a talent. He is someone that will score goals, and if you pick him up in your save, he's near enough guaranteed to put the ball away in the back of the net at least 20 times a season, and for 3 million quid, that really is worth the investment. Now, you guys saying he is one of your favourites, I could certainly see why. He's also pretty versatile too, but yes, a very good player and a great pick from you lot to start off with. Sticking in Germany though, one player that I'd never heard of personally that you guys recommended is Linus Gechter of Hertha Berlin, who's only going to cost you about 1 million quid, and at age 19 he is a very good defender. Do I think he's exactly world-class quality or could be world-class? Probably not, but he definitely has the ability to be a high-level Bundesliga player. His right foot's strong, but he's not too bad with his left foot. He's good when it comes to the ball-playing aspects of defending, but also in that standard defending mould of wanting to win the ball back and be strong and physical. He's got that in his game as well. Is he the perfect player? No. But for 1 or 2 million quid, he is certainly a very good find, and I think you guys have definitely found a gem here. A suggestion that came through twice in the comments was Jonathan Rowe of Norwich, who has had an increase in his current ability after the winter update, and now age 20 he's already an important player for one of the best sides in the championship and one of the favourites to come up in Football Manager. He's going to play a lot of game time at Norwich in season 1, which will help with his development massively, and for about 10 or 12 million you could see why some clubs are already interested in him. He's versatile, can play on the left or the right or through the middle, but he's got great ability when it comes to being direct and beating an opponent. He likes to cut inside from the wing, and he is good with both feet. He'll use that flair, that dribbling, that finishing ability to get past and hopefully score a few goals. He can create chances too, but that's probably the weakest area of his game. He is certainly a future winger in the Premier League, and I think if you can pick him up for 12 million, you're going to look back at that as an absolute bargain. So again, another great find. Still plenty of players to get through in this list, but before we continue, I just want to ask you guys for a few things. Firstly, if you could like the video, that would be massively appreciated and really help us out here on the channel, and make sure you're subscribed as well, as we're getting very close to 180k subs, and it'll be amazing to reach that. But the main thing is, I want you guys to comment down below your favourites. If they weren't included in this video, let us know some of your favourite players. The more obscure the better. It doesn't have to be the best one you've ever used like Haaland and Mbappe. If you use someone in the 4th division and he was good for you, let us know, and hopefully we can make a part 2 to this. So thank you to anybody who does that, and now let's get back to our list. The most expensive player in today's list that you guys picked out is Evanilson of Porto, who actually at 30 million quid is still a pretty good investment for a Brazilian player that's guaranteed to get international football in the future. Good with both feet and a fantastic advanced forward, really good physically, good off the ball work rate, passing ability, finishing, first touch dribbling. This guy has got a lot. Genuinely a player that could play for one of the biggest sides in the world, and he's already doing so at a big European club in FC Porto, but he could definitely go on even further. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, all of them could use this quality of player, I'm sure. He's a fantastic option. If you've got the money to pick him up and you're an elite club, he could be a great player to sign. One for the future that you guys recommended is Hector Fort of Barcelona. Now this is the first one where I'm not going to say outright that he is a very good player. He definitely is good, and he definitely has the potential to go far, but usually Barca don't give him a chance and he won't really develop, which means you have to sign him from Barca, where he is quite pricey. After a year or so you might be able to pick him up for a bargain fee, at which point he'll be 17, 18 and he will have missed out on a few years of growth. Now, he does have good potential, and he could be a very good right back, but I'm not necessarily sure he'll ever be an elite quality one, or at least maybe not in the vein that I like. I like my right backs who go forward, and that looks to be the role that would suit Hector Fort, but with only 11 crossing, 10 dribbling, I'm not sure he's ever going to be world class, even if he gets to the point where they're 12s, 13s. So for that reason, he's a good pick, but he wouldn't be one of my favourites. One player I have had great success with though is Hilgers. He's a really good defender. I don't know what it is about him, but he is just so strong in game, tends to get some great performances, and if your scouts ever scout him, they'll think he's amazing because he does so well at 20 every single year that he gets great average match ratings, and your scouts think that he is so good, and he definitely is. He's quick, good in the air, as well as being strong, but when it comes to his defensive attributes and his ball playing attributes, he's maybe not the best, but he is a good signing for 12-13 million. Is he ever going to be the world's best defender? No. Could he play for a top 6 Premier League side? As a squad player, he probably can, and I've definitely had that kind of success with him, so if you're looking for a new centre-back to try, Hilgers could be a great pickup from the Eredivisie. A player I had never heard of before today's video is Vasilis Zagaritis, who is playing for Parma. He's a Greek 22-year-old who signed for the Italian Serie B club a few years ago, and he's played a fair few times for them since, but in Football Manager, the 22-year-old, whilst he probably doesn't have the world's best potential, he is a very good option at left back. Would he ever play for a big club? Maybe not, but for a championship team, maybe low-level Premier League team, he could definitely suit that, particularly with the fact that he will grow at least a little bit, even if he is never going to reach that elite status at left back, but he's got some good all-round attributes, and I think a lot of you could definitely benefit from him. So he's a good pick. Is he my favourite left back ever? No, but for 3 or 4 million, not a bad find from you guys actually. On the opposite side at fullback is Valentine Gendrey. Again, another player that I have never used myself. He plays for Lech out in Italy, known as Salento in game if you don't have the name fix, and I've probably butchered the pronunciation of Lech as well there, so apologies for that. But the 23-year-old Frenchman can be picked up for about 5 million and has some very good ability. I think he's a little bit better than the Greek international we just looked at. He's very good going forward, good defensively too. Actually could maybe play at a very high level. I'm surprised he is still here with the club that he's at. He's definitely destined for bigger things than that. So if you're after a new right back, maybe as a depth option to eventually become your starter, Valentine Gendrey could be a really good choice. And next we have Estanis Pedrola, the 19-year-old Spaniard joining Sampdoria, currently on loan from Barca, but he will automatically join Sampdoria at the end of your first year. Now I've used him in a few of my own rebuilds and he has been amazing. As a side note, if you do want to check those rebuilds out, you can find my channel linked in the description down below, and over there we've got plenty of rebuilds, plenty of clubs for you guys to see, so thank you to anyone who comes on over. But yeah, I signed Pedrola maybe 3 times now in 3 different rebuilds. I try and avoid signing the same players, but he's one that seems to come up a lot because he is always so good at such a cheap fee, can be world class. I can say that hand on heart. I've seen him play for the likes of Bayern Munich in some saves. He always goes on to be a top level talent. The Spaniard is someone that I think Barcelona will regret losing, particularly as he develops and becomes a player that his potential suggests he could reach. The Wonderkid factory that is RB Salzburg has made another player here in Sucik, and he is one that you guys have suggested as one of your favourite players. He came through at a Salzburg club, then went to Liefering. Are they maybe Salzburg's B team? I don't know. Either way, he's a Croatian international. £90 million is the fee, but he is for an elite club if you are going to sign him. An attacking central midfielder. I've used him a few times. I wouldn't really say he's my favourite I've ever used, but he is a very good player, a Wonderkid with a lot of potential, and one to check out if you haven't already. And for our final 5 players, we have quite a few unknown quantities in here. Guys I don't really know of, but maybe you guys will, but I think are great picks and great suggestions from you lot. The first one is the goalkeeper, and the only goalkeeper in this list, who is Labrovic, who plays for Rijeka out in Croatia. I don't know if I've pronounced that right at all, but he's going to cost you about 3 million. The number 1 has played there for a few years, having moved around the Croatian divisions, but is definitely destined for a top 5 European league at that price. He's got great ability, he's big as well in goal at 6'5". Is he necessarily the best sweeper keeper, really good with the ball at his feet? No, but in terms of the standard goalkeeping attributes, reflexes, command of his area, aerial reach, one-on-ones, he is really good at. So if you're looking for a more traditional goalie, Labrovic could be a great choice. For our next pick, we have Malaga's Roberto Fernandez, and the comment that suggested him said that in his save for Malaga, he had outscored most of the world-class strikers in the game, and that's likely because his Malaga team's good or his tactics good. I don't necessarily think this guy could ever be world-class, but he is definitely a decent option at 21, could be a very good La Liga level striker for maybe a mid-table club, so he's definitely a nice pickup for £1 million or so, but I wouldn't say he's quite got the ability ability to outscore an Erling Haaland or an Mbappe, but feel free to prove me wrong. Parma have got another good player in Alessandro Circati here, who's a 19-year-old Aussie central defender. It's pretty interesting to see an Aussie player out here at Parma, but he was in the Australian divisions, moved for a very small fee, and now is a fairly regular player in Serie B for the club. 19 years of age, we're not expecting him to be perfect just yet. He has got room to grow, but he's never going to be a ball-playing defender, really. He hasn't really got that in his locker. He could maybe do it at a push if you developed him to get to a maybe 11 or 12, but mainly he is there to be that aggressive tackling type, and if that's what you want in a centre-back, he could be a good choice for a few million. I think he's great, but there's probably some better options out there for that price. We then have another defender. This is Alex Jimenez of AC Milan on loan from Real Madrid with an optional future fee of 4.3 million. A very good option, but from what I've seen in most saves in Football Manager, loans with the option to buy don't tend to get triggered on most occasions, so he'll likely go back to Real, and then you might be able to get him at a bargain fee. For that reason, he could be a good pick. He could be a very good right back at full growth too. He's pretty good for only an 18-year-old. I'd never came across him before, but definitely one that I might keep an eye on now in future saves. So another good suggestion from you lot. And our final player from you guys is another Spaniard. This is Club Bruges' Ferran Jutgla, who is signed for them from Barcelona a few years ago. Scored 13 goals in his first season by the looks of it. Now at the age of 24, you can pick him up for about 8 million. A very good forward player when it comes to the work rate, the off-the-ball work. Pressing forward would suit him down to the ground. Really good technically as well, actually, and a very good penalty taker. And whilst he does lack in some of the physicals, he's definitely a great option. Got a bit of pace about him as well. Likes to beat the offside trap and move into channels. He could be a good forward for the price point and someone that I haven't really considered signing before, but now I definitely will. I don't think he'll ever be world class, but still a very good forward player. But there you go, that's 15, that's 10, 15, there you go, of your players checked out in FM. If you have more to suggest in the comments, go for it. But most of all, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.